sucked out.
Yeah,
it's all corporate now.
You have to tell us about the streamer side of things. Streamer Fwiz, the OG days. Like, I'm talking game battles.
How far do I got to go back? Like, when you guys were children?
2010 back. Yeah, I know the dates.
You guys disagree?
We know you know the dates, boo. That's a minute ago.
Yeah, I think so. So when I actually started was I was playing. I got into Counter-Strike competitively very young. CPL was absolute trash at it, and then Call of Duty 4 came around and got really into it. And that's when I found game battles and started playing all the time on game battles. Started getting really into competitive. The thing to know is there was really no esports around Call of Duty. It was actually kind of comical because even if you wanted to do it, there was no LAN infrastructure in the game to even go live and do LAN tournaments. So whenever you wanted to do a Call of Duty tournament, you actually had to run an internet connection. When you do these MLG events, running an internet connection, especially 10 years ago, super expensive cost, right? And especially if you try to do it at scale with all these games. But Call of Duty 4 is a massive success. It was starting to see like Halo was taking over it. Halo was like MLG's baby. It was really professionalized. Is what everyone aspired to, right?
It was so fun.
And so I'm like, not really. There's no really tournament infrastructure. A lot of the guys that were really good at Call of Duty were young, right? So you start to think like this is Nate Shot coming on the scene, like Felonies, Sharp, Moho, like all these Hastro, Rambo, Big Timer, right? JCap actually even as well. So obviously all these guys are very young at the time too. I mean, I want to say like, Matt's like 15, 16 at the time competing, right? And I looked at it kind of as an opportunity where it's like, I'm a sophomore in college at the time or freshman in college, whatever it is. And I'm like, I got to do something other. I got to figure out how this becomes a career for me. And so, you saw Chris Puckett doing Halo. It's like, this is, I'll be the Call of Duty guy, right? It seemed like a very natural fit. And so started with, we got Logitech webcams.
Oh, brother.
We hung up like a red cloth, and Hashra hung up a blue cloth, and we just streamed to Skype. They grabbed our Skype video feeds in, and we joined as spectators, and we started commentating over the tournaments.
Oh my God.
And that's how Call of Duty esports started.
Wow.
Do you remember Skype, bro?
Yes,
No one
dude.
uses it.
And so like when I wasn't commentating, I was like the head of online tournaments for game battles, and so we would host these Call of Duty tournaments, and everybody was playing it. So that was the cool thing. Couldn't do LAN, but everybody could play in these online tournaments and get it going, and it was awesome, man. And then finally, PlayStation sponsored it for Modern Warfare 2, so I started actually getting paid to commentate, and the rest is kind of history. But that's how it all started. And then my big break was Call of Duty 4 National Championship 2004, which I believe it was Extravagant versus Envy. Yeah, and Hasher was supposed to be coaching the Call of Duty team, and then had to sub in and play in that tournament. And so those two played, and remember, God, what was the game? One of the game modes.
I've never played.
I was Demolition, or one of the ones that takes forever. And
Demolition was the greatest game I've ever put in Call of Duty.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it might have been Sabotage. So the game keeps going on, and it's like fear playing, and finally we were like, we just hope to get on the main stage for ESPN 3, and we finally got up there, and it was me, Chris Puckett, that commentated that, and that was the first time there was like a real broadcasted MLG event.
These are the origin stories.
Yeah, the origin stories.
This is before we were all around, too.
Bro, what did it feel you were like 8, 9 years old during all this?
I've never played COD 4.
Yeah, when were you born?
Really?
Yeah, I've never played Call of Duty.
Well, that explains a lot of your which Call of Duty is the best.
Black Ops 2.
Yeah,
the greatest Call of Duty
I don't know about that. And I'm not
What's
really
your favorite Call of Duty of all time?
Call of Duty 4.
See, Call of Duty 4, I came on to the COD 4 scene when it was just like everyone was hacking now, and it's like everyone's 10 prestige lobbies, and like it's not like genuine fun.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I did one of the 10th.
I did. Oh yeah, I did. I used to.
I didn't give a shit.
I
saw those gold crosses. I was big mad.
Dude, you know like Seven Sins or like the tech game?
Yeah.
Dude, I would run those forums all the time.
Yeah.
It was a bad time.
Forums, man. Do you remember all that? It was like a different time.
Black Ops 1 wagers was a good time in Call of Duty.
Black Ops 1 wagers.
Wager matches,
that was
I
fun
took
as
those
fuck.
so serious.
Yeah.
It was like
That's what
$1.
you guys all
One
got
in the
into
chamber
that.
wager matches on Black Ops 1.
Ooh, one in the chamber was my shit, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't.
That was so fun.
Oh, I wish they'd bring that back.
Did you buy the new Halo, like the old Halo or the new Halo on PC?
I didn't. Is it good? Is it run well?
The reach
Yeah, I
is
haven't had a
fun,
chance
yeah.
to play it. Yeah, I saw a lot of people downloaded it.
So you were one of the first Twitch streamers, or was it Justin TV streamers partnered?
Okay.
On the platform?
So,
Wait, first
by
explain
the
what
way, I
Justin
love that
TV is.
picture of you guys.
For those of you who don't know, wait.
Yeah,
He
there's
loves the picture.
There's
There's egg
one in
on
the
there right
bathroom.
now. Yeah, we
Explain it.
showed him that.
So Justin TV
Yeah.
was just pretty much essentially Twitch before Twitch, right?
It was. So I
that like
moved.
a good
I moved out to
experience?
LA in beginning of 2010. So kind of right after the Call of Duty stuff, and took a job at Machinima, and we lived in Optic J, Diesel, and I all lived in an apartment together, working for Machinima, and then C Nanners and Hutch lived close by, and we would play Black Ops 1. We were streaming on Justin TV on my channel, but we had a really cool like LAN setup at the house, and so we would basically drink and play video games all night, and that's like what we did on Justin TV, and it'd be fun. And there'd be like 100 people watching, and you'd be ecstatic over that. And then so when Justin spun off into Twitch TV, they kind of partnered. They're like their first kind of stable of rosters. Day 9 was in there, I was in there, and a couple other creators. Actually, DJ Wheat was probably in there as well. And so yeah, it was awesome, man. I mean, I really enjoyed streaming. It was fun, and especially when you're doing it kind of like this, when you have like 4 other guys playing with you, it's even more fun. You don't have to carry it by yourself, and it's a lot more entertaining.
Having a group has made this whole process like infinitely more fun.
Yeah.
I don't really know if I would have been able to do like all this.
I would definitely. Yeah, I would not be.
That would have been boring as hell.
Yeah.
Imagine just sitting by yourself in a house.
It-
I respect streamers who move out on their own, all that. Do
For sure.
everything by themselves because we've never
It's the
known that.
hustle.
Yep.
We've never known that.
Yep. No, it's fun. I mean,
Love that.
playing with the guys and all that was great times, man. And then obviously Black Ops 1 was it was a good game, man. I mean, there was better ones after it, that's for sure.
So Nate Shot tweeted that Black Ops 1 was the worst Call of Duty of all time.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's a terrible
how do you
tweet.
feel
That's
about
a
that
very
tweet?
bad tweet.
I think it's a really misinformed tweet.
That game was so good. That game was.
It was a great game. It was paramount in ushering in like the next era of Call of Duty esports. I understand like the overpowered FAMAS in that game like really ruined the esports mechanics from time to time.
FAMAS Ops 1. That's
Yeah,
what everyone calls it.
which
Nah.
it was, but I don't
Commando.
know.
Commando
It was
was
pretty
great.
reckless to say that's the worst Call of Duty all time when there are things like Call of Duty 3 that's out there. Yeah.
Well, I haven't.
You didn't miss out.
All
You
right,
didn't miss out.
good.
You
I'm
didn't
glad.
miss out. Yeah,
I'm
you
glad.
guys definitely need to go back and play Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2 though.
So you
I
think,
lived on MW.
Okay, so at least one of you.
you think that
Yeah.
COD 3 was worse than all of the jetpack CODs? Every single one of them?
COD 3 was the worst Call of Duty yet.
I've never played it.
Yeah,
Wait.
I never played that.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought COD 4 was the first one, but
COD 4 was the first.
that
like,
doesn't make any sense.
Call of Duty
It's
2
COD 4.
Call of Duty 2 was pretty incredible, like from a multiplayer perspective. That's like what a lot of like Hector and Diesel and Hutch really got hooked on that game.
I have like a personal, since we're talking about COD and stuff,
Sorry,
and like
yeah.
you used to work
I
at
went on a
MLG. You used to work at MLG. I don't know if you can talk about it, but like, what was like the biggest like not struggle while you work at MLG, but like issues that they ever had, like working there, like behind the scenes.
I mean,
like-
I worked there for a while because you think about I worked there
yeah.
before and then after Machinima, so before YouTube. MLG was awesome, man, because think about it. They were raising money to like usher in a new era of Western esports, and so the problem that they had is you just kind of go through all the tough learning experiences because there wasn't many things to draw from, right? And so the mistakes they made were just a company that's in this new business and trying to do new things. And so I think that is what the product was. So we should, I think it's awesome that MLG did all of these things and established it for many other companies after it. The pivot into MLG TV and launching live streaming was probably late, right? Like I was on that project as well. In hindsight, it was probably too late to try to really like compete with not only Twitch, but any live streaming player in the space. And so I think their heart was in the right place of let's try to bring, esports together, Call of Duty together. Like let's have this one-stop destination where you can consume all Call of Duty esports, whether it's the players or tournaments. That's great from a discoverability standpoint and people trying to watch it. It's just really hard to scale up to where Twitch was from a product perspective and then pivot your team into doing a bunch of physical events all year round and online tournaments to like building a live streaming platform.
Oh, yeah.
Twitch was really a powerhouse.
I also kind of have a personal question as well. So late 2009, early 2010, I think you said, is when you had a big decision. You had like a quarter left in college, and you had to decide if you were gonna leave college or stay and finish or pursue gaming. And that's literally the exact same situation that I was faced with.
Yeah.
My junior year finished. This whole opportunity arose, and this is what would have been my senior year in college, but I
Yeah.
had to make the decision to come out here as well. So what did your parents think? Like, what did you think? How did that unfold?
You know, with it being it was tough. I mean, it was tough. Yeah. So it was my last quarter. Machinima had offered me a full-time job to be the community manager for them, which is like, you know, out of college was the dream job from a games industry perspective.
Yeah.
It's like Machinima was blowing up on the rise. What a cool brand at the time. And so I kind of just it wasn't a hard decision for me to make. They basically were like, look, you know, we want to hire you at some point. This role just won't be around. We need it now. We're growing fast. We can't wait 6 months for you. So, I mean, it is, but it wasn't hard to make. I'm like, why am I in college? I'm in college right now to get a great education so I can go out and get a job that I love to do. The job that I love to do just came a little bit earlier than finishing college. My mom was all right because she knew how much I really wanted to focus on, you know, getting a job in the games industry, and she was really helpful and productive in that regard and very supportive. She didn't love that I was dropping out.
Same with mom.
But I told her, you know, like, Mom, I'm gonna, you know, I'll finish in a year or so.
That's what I said.
I'll come back.
It sounds so familiar.
Here's the thing, though, you gotta go finish. Now, that's also hypocritical. I never went back and finished. So we'll go together. Let's go do our last quarter together.
Google executive is what you're saying.
Yes.
It'll be fine.
I'm just saying it doesn't always work out that way. There was a perfect storm for allowed it to be happening, but I think you and I, this is a brilliant idea. Why don't we go back and finish together?
We go back and for a little.
You and I go to school for our last quarter.
Fwiz and Avalanche
Yes.
go back to school.
Yes. Yes. Are you kidding? The thing practically pays for itself. We could finish at Harvard, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Dude, that would be.
Listen,
Hey, but you got
there's
Harvard
something
money.
to this.
He'll take care of it.
Yeah,
don't,
yeah.
don't worry.
No,
Don't
yeah,
worry.
yeah. We'll stay in the dorms together for our last quarter.
Actually,
Yeah.
Nah,
But that's my story on that. Yeah.